What's happening? It's Matthew Blackburn, and this is one of my coolest rides we have at our house, the Mazda 3. I feel like Paul Walker when I drive it around. Great gas mileage. You can zip around town. We were so excited about it, and we'd had this car for years, me and my wife, and then we had Georgia. And I remember going to the hospital. We're going to take her home that day. We were so excited, and I had to get a car seat in here. And literally, I did not think it worked. Actually, at the hospital parking lot, I got so frustrated, I threw the car seat into the parking lot. So if anyone tells a story about seeing someone throw a car seat in the middle of the hospital parking lot, that was me, that was true. I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I just did not think it would fit. And the reason I thought it was broken was, look at the seat. No one could sit in there. You had to get all scrunched in, and both me and my wife are tall, and we're like, how are we gonna live like this? But we did. We lived like this, and we took this on some long trips. And one of the trips that I remember going on is this trip down to New Orleans. We're seeing her brother down there, and we had this long ride back. It's about 8-10 hours. And our daughter at the time was just a baby, and she was a terrible car ride. You always hear people say, oh, my kid falls asleep. No, not her. She cried the whole way. So this one morning, we're getting ready to go home, and we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got out of the car. We were very gentle. We closed the door. And we started driving. I was like, okay, she's going to stay asleep. Instantly, started crying. Like, oh my goodness. 8 o'clock, we're worn out already. We see a McDonald's. So we go out there. There's McDonald's, one of us was cramped. I can't remember who was riding shotgun, but one of us was cramped. We were ready just to get some food. We had to keep going. And we saw the drive-through line super long. And we're like, oh, this is terrible. So we go around, get our little biscuits, got a coffee, which we knew wasn't going to solve this long problem that we had going on this trip. We get around, pay for the food, and this lady sees us. She looks at our faces. Here's Georgia crying in the back seat, sees our knees against the dashboard, and she goes, man, Monday's trying to do what Mondays do, but we ain't going to let it. And that was awesome. That was like the coolest thing anyone's ever said to us in a long time. I mean, she looked at us and said, oh man, these people are hurting. They look like Monday's really hitting them. And it almost like, oh, she let us know she was having a tough day, but man, we're not going to let it. We're a team. And, it sounds goofy, but man, honestly, it really affected us. It was something that stuck with us. It was a phrase that we used on the whole ride home when Georgia would be crying, like, Georgia, Monday's trying to do what Mondays do, but we ain't going to let it. And even when we got back home, it was part of our lives. When I would a lot of times be walking into work, and I was like, oh, Monday, what am I going to do this week and all that? It stuck with me. And this is a phrase I think is a lot more than just something goofy. I think there's something spiritual about it. One of the things I think about that phrase is when I think about that moment with that lady at McDonald's, is she could have just saw me as another customer, let's move on and do something, but she saw me as something, and she saw purpose in having a little split-second conversation with us. This little moment, stopping the day and just saying, this is important. This is to me biblical. This is something Christ-like when we stop and we see every moment having a purpose behind it. That's why I want to be in here. We have some artists working on, in a youth area, the girls' backpack room. They're working on the story of the woman at the well. And I love this story. And to me, it signifies a lot of what Jesus Christ's ministry was. There's a book called 42 Seconds. The premise about that book is that on average, Jesus' interaction with 42 seconds, but we know how powerful they can be. So I hope as we go on this week, as we continue to see how this week goes, even if you're able to have school this week because of all the online stuff or not, I hope you guys can find purpose every day we wake up, but understand these little small moments, little small interactions with people can be so much bigger. These 42 seconds, they can be life-changing, we believe. And they can be something that we'll be able to continue on. So I hope this week we find purpose in every moment that we live, because we know that we are the hands and feet in Christ in all we do. Love you guys.